Are you with me, everyone, online? The third thing that you have to do, you have to identify the underlying theme. So one thing I want to tell you, basically, if there is a question which is very simple, then no need of applying any of these steps, because वो तो simple question है, don't complicate that. But if the question is complicated, the question is lengthy, for example, this question, this is the question from GS paper 2 and this is one of the difficult question. The answer is not difficult, but understanding the question is not easy. There are so many words which have been used in the question. So understanding this question will require breaking down the question into different components, so that you can identify exactly what is required and what is not required. So in this question, if you read the question, please read the question once. पहले इसको पढ़ लीजिए एक बार इसको. So in this they have used multiple words. For example, contribution, failed, mighty and powerful, analyze, structural and practical implications, suggest remedial measures. So many words. How to utilize these words in the answer writing? What is the significance of each of these words in the answer writing? Right? So let me tell you. This is the context statement, I told you already. And this is the question statement, analyzing the structural and practical limitations, right? So what you can do, you can elaborate this statement in the form of introduction. You can give some facts that what are the contributions of human rights commissions. What are the contributions of Human Rights Commission? You can give some maybe data, some example. At least this alerts the administration when Human Rights Commission they issue some notice against any wrongdoing, against domestic violence, against caste-based violence. At least district administration, police comes into force, media becomes active. This is the contribution, right? This has created an awareness in the among the people, among the administration, in the media, that yes, there is something called human rights violation. Earlier there was no such concept, right? And also, like, one thing that you will be doing is contribution. Second, you will be also writing the failure, especially against mighty and powerful, criminals, politicians, those people in power. They are getting a lot of notices, but they don't have any punishment. So you can write that one line. So in introduction, you can give some data example about how they are contributing, how they are failing. यहाँ तक सिर्फ इतना ही करना था. Like, this is the importance of context statement. Just complete it, finish, done, nothing else. The second part, that is analyze the structural and practical limitation. This will be the body part 1. ये body का first part होगा, okay? So here I will tell you how to do the brainstorming. Through this question, we will also learn how to do the brainstorming, okay? So make this smart rough sketch. I call this brainstorming sheet or smart rough sketch, SRS. You should use this like a blueprint. This is a blueprint of your answer. Many of you struggle in answer writing, like you are not writing what is required. Sometime what happens? You have lot of content, but you are not able to convert that content into the answer. You have extra content. You occupy more space in one component and you don't have the space for second component of the answer. You write some good point in the last and bad point in the first. So those kind of problem you face because you are not doing the proper blueprint making. You are not doing the proper sketch making, right? So before writing every answer, what you will do? You will make this kind of rough sketch. Please write this in your notes. इसको बनाएंगे आप साथ साथ में लिखेंगे, right? देखिए, many of you might say, sir, will we find the time to do this much of work in the exam? No, you will not find. Even that is not required because this is the learning stage. In the learning stage, we should know how to do. Slowly, if you practice regularly, after some time, you are not supposed to write in the paper. You can do this in the mind. Are you getting? So पहले आप पेपर पे करेंगे और धीरे धीरे जब आप सीख जाएंगे इसको स्केच को बनाना, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करना, then you will do it in the mind itself. You will think about it, right? So you will write introduction, body, conclusion, and value addition. And you will write some key words from the question like Human Rights Commission, contribution, failure. Here I will give some data. Here I will give some example. Now this becomes the framework of your introduction. ये आपका introduction का framework बन गया. Now in the body, there are two components in this question. One is limitations. The one limitation is structural limitation. The second limitation is practical limitation. The second is remedial measures. So this becomes the body part, right? And after that we will write the conclusion. So this is a framework of the answer. Now, after making this framework, you will also decide the word limit for every component. So introduction, it should have approximately 10% of the total word limit. So for example, if we are talking about 250 words question, that means introduction will be 25 words approximately. Body should have approximately 80% component and conclusion approximately 10%. Value addition will be integrated in every part, introduction, body, conclusion. So there is no need of separate word in the value addition because value addition will become part of the introduction, body, conclusion only. So in the introduction you will write 25 words. In the conclusion you will also write 25 words. Body you will write 200 words. Now 200 words ko you have to divide into two component, 100 words and 100 words. Here also you have to divide into 50 words and 50 words. Are you getting more clarity? After doing this exercise, just think one point, just give it thought to one point. In 50 words, how many sentences we can write? 4 to 5 maximum. If you are writing some example data also, right? Similarly, 4 to 5. 100 words, 7 to 8 maximum. Or maybe you will write 4 or 5 points and you will make some diagram. This is value addition. You will think about this in the brainstorming sheet only. देखिए, कोई you understand Hindi? Anyone who do not understand Hindi online? So basically, if you have to make good building, the blueprint should be as minute, as detailed as possible. जितना डिटेल में आपने ब्लूप्रिंट बनाया होगा, जितना वेल थॉट आउट बिल्डिंग आपने प्लान किया होगा, उतना ही बेटर आपका एग्जीक्यूशन होगा, उतना ही बेटर आपकी बिल्डिंग बनेगी. सो माय सजेशन, माय इन्विटेशन टू यू इज दैट focus more upon this aspect in the starting phase, or even if you are writing the answer for long time and your quality is not improving, you have the problem of time management, you have the problem of space management, you have the problem of missing out the important point. The answer to all those questions is making this structure. Focus more, give more time to this structure making, because once this is done, then writing the answer is very easy job, right everyone? So don't compromise on this thing. So you will think about diagram, what data example I will add, you will think here only. Okay, now out of this 4 to 5 point, a minimum in 2 point you will write some data example. And rest 3 point you can write in short. The point which have the data and example should be written first. उसको पहले लिखिए to give the impression to the examiner. And the point where you don't have the data example, write it later. Similarly, do this here also, everywhere, right? So how to think about structural implementation, how to think about practical, then I will discuss separately. What to write in the conclusion, I will discuss separately. Okay, so right now I am not focusing upon the content, right now I am focusing upon the presentation, brainstorming, what to write, how much to write, right? So this rough sketch you will be making for your answers. This is compulsory, especially I will say from now, from today, for next 30 days, at least 2 questions daily you should do the brainstorming. Even if you don't write, not a problem, just do the brainstorming, especially the previous year questions. Yes, please.
So you are saying that we have to write answer in 25 words in that intro part.
Yeah.
So how will we conclude that contribution and failure in 25 words?
Yeah, so that will lead the practice and preciseness. वो practice से आएगा. Okay. So what is your good name? Keshav. So Keshav is asking a question, sir, how we will be able to write this contribution and failure in just 25 words, right? So I would like to clarify a few things here. Number one, when I am saying 25 word, this is not the mathematics that you have to exactly stop at 25, right? This is a very good question, because slowly when I say something, then you oppose, then it, the best thing will come out. So 25 is the average. It is the average. In some question it can be even 15 words, and in some question it can be maximum 40 words also. So maybe in this question you can write big longer introduction. Okay. Number 2, if you want to write in 25 words, that is also possible. For that you will need the preciseness. Okay. For example, here, I don't have the data right now, but maybe something like contribution may maybe 25% cases were reported in media, after NHRC issued the notice. Still, criminal MLAs, MPs do not face any action despite having the so many NHRC allegations or violations, caste-based violation, domestic violence, derogatory remarks, hate speech. हो गया 20 words में. So you have to directly write the point, no extra word. just write like what is the keyword. Okay, are you with me everyone? So 20 to 25 वर्ड में आपका हो गया. अगर आपको पता है कि क्या लिखना है और वो है आपके पास, you have the data, then you directly write without any, कोई filler word नहीं होगा. Especially if you are the beginner, you are coming from the graduation. हम क्या करते हैं, पहले क्वेश्चन को ही बार बार रिपीट करते हैं, लैंग्वेज को. जो क्वेश्चन की लैंग्वेज होती है, क्योंकि ग्रेजुएशन में हमें वही सिखाया गया है. ग्रेजुएशन में सिखाया गया है कि जितना बड़ा आंसर उतना ज़्यादा मार्क्स. और यहाँ पे इट इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. हियर यू हैव टू राइट द एग्जैक्ट पॉइंट विदाउट डुप्लीकेटिंग द कंटेंट, विदाउट राइटिंग द irrelevant content. Okay everyone? Any other question? Did you get the answer? Very good. Now we'll be coming to the next part. So underlying theme you have to identify. In this question, underlying theme is basically the limitation of the Human Rights Commission and the suggestion for that. This is the underlying theme. Okay, underlying theme is not the contribution. Underlying theme is not the anything else. It is just that structural and practical limitation and the remedial measures. इसके अलावा आपको कुछ नहीं लिखना है. I keep saying this thing in my classes, in my workshop, again and again. Please don't write extra. Still I will find so many people when they actually write the answer, what they will do, they will write 100 words on the first statement only, and you are not going to get marks on the first statement. No marks, कोई marks नहीं है उसके लिए. That's why I am saying use this in the introduction, not in the body, because they did not ask you about this, right? Maybe what you can do in the body part, when you're writing the structural and practical limitation, then you can give some example of the kind of this kind. कुछ example इस type का दे दीजिए जो इससे relate करता हो, right? Keywords, identifying the keywords. So keywords I have already told you, structural and practical limitation and remedial measures. What is the importance of identifying these keywords? These keywords should be used as subheadings in your answer. Convert these keywords into the subheading. Okay, so in our case the answer is, suppose this is the answer sheet. So how will it look like? So we will write the introduction here, then body part we will start limitations of Human Rights Commission, structural, number 1, number 2, number 3. Nothing else, direct to the point. Limitations, structural. Okay, in the next page practical limitations, number 1, number 2, number 3. Then the second part, remedial measures. One, two, three, four, diagram, whatever diagram you have to make, and then write the conclusion. So these keywords, they will help you give the subheading. And why that should be done? क्यों होना ऐसा चाहिए इसमें? अपनी तरफ से इनोवेशन क्यों नहीं करना है इसमें? दूसरों से आंसर डिफरेंट करने के लिए कुछ तो इनोवेशन करना चाहिए ना?
थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन है. 2-3 साल पहले there was a very popular movie Article 15, जिसमें the role of NHRC was discussed in UP बदायूं में केस के ऊपर.
Okay.
So can we give example of that?
Yeah, definitely.
So how we integrate that example in this that?
You can give the example in practical limitation. like write the point and then write the example of that. What is the point that was there, the keyword, the point, and below that you give the example, like in happened in the Badaयूं rape case. We will come to that, how to give the example, right? जो example आपको देने हैं यहाँ पर देने हैं. You will make a point and then you will give the example, like it happened here, just it. Okay. So you don't have to make any innovation. Why? Because this subheading will help the examiner identify that which part of the answer is given where. They need to know कि आपने किस component को कहाँ पर answer किया है, and you also will be very you will be comfortable if you do this, because आपको कुछ अलग से सोचने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, right?
So suppose this particular question, don't we consider that directive word analyzing?
हाँ, वो अभी next step में आएगा. The next step is directive word, and the directive word here is analyzing and suggest. Two directive words are here. So what is the role of the directive word? I will say 10% role in UPSC. 90% time, no role. So we will have a separate discussion on this, 30-40 minute discussion separately on the keywords, on the directive words, how they are relevant and how they are irrelevant.
सर एक छोटा सा सवाल है, फॉर एग्जांपल जो मस्ट हैव बीन सो मेनी हुई, तो एक्चुअल एग्जाम में डायरेक्टिव वर्ड्स का मतलब जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल देयर आर 10-50 डायरेक्टिव वर्ड्स, तो एक्चुअल एग्जाम में आई गेस तो जो मेन कोर कंटेंट है वो तो सेम ही होता होगा.
Absolutely, that is what I am saying.
कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
Core content remains same. It is only 10% role. I mean, in some cases, if you change the key, directive word, the answer will change. 90% cases, mein answer will not change. I will show you the real example. I will show you. Okay. Here also, for example, instead of analyzing, if we say considering their structural and practical limitations, suggest remedial measures, or critically examine their structural limitations and suggest remedial measures, or discuss their structural and practical limitations and suggest remedial measures, the answer will remain same, because जो core आपने जो बोला, जो core content है वो तो same ही है. And I will show many more example where you can clearly see कि कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है word change करने से, right? That is why I am saying only 10% role. Means you have to see the word and जो भी डायरेक्टिव वर्ड दिया गया है उसका जो कॉमन सेंसिकल मीनिंग है आपको उसके अकॉर्डिंगली जाना है. कोई टेक्निकल मीनिंग के लिए नहीं जाना है आपको. टेक्निकली इट विल नॉट चेंज मच. दैट विल बी द टेक्निकल मीनिंग विल हेल्प इन द ग्रेजुएशन, बिकॉज इन द ग्रेजुएशन यू हैव very good scope of writing large content, but here the content is very limited. I mean, the space is limited and the content is so much, so we have to write the core content. So this was the first step, decoding the question, right? So in the decoding of question we had 5 stages. The first stage was 5 category of question. Second stage, differentiating context statement and question statement. Third was underlying theme. Fourth was keywords, and fifth was directive words. I have given the example of Human Rights Commission question which appeared in 2021, and you can break down any question in this fashion. The lengthier the question is, the easier it is to answer. Why? Because in the question only they are using all the words, so you can weave your answer around the same words. Okay everyone, are you with me? Online especially. Please keep participating in the chat box. Only then I will come to know what is happening with you. Okay, very good. Saurabh, Jyotsna, Mitu, Vipin. Saurabh is saying go English. I am using English only, but I have to take care of those people also who can't understand Hindi. How many of you cannot understand Hindi? Please write in the chat box no and or no. Okay, Pawan can't understand Hindi. Okay. Now the second, after decoding the question, importance of one sentence in answer. So basically we have two type of question, 150 word question. Sorry. $150 words question, 250 words question. 150 words question, how many marks? 10 marks, 15 marks. In 150 words, how many sentences you can write? In my experience, you can write 12 to 15 sentences. So when you write 12 to 15 sentences for 10 marks, how many marks per sentence? 0.75. So 0.75 marks per sentence. This is the importance. If you think in like this, then you will not write the irrelevant content, because irrelevant content is not going to give you the marks. So never ever write any single statement which is not answering the question, which is not adding the value. Right? So this is very crucial for you people. Now, writing the introduction. In the introduction writing, there are 4 components. First is how much should be the length, that I have told 10% of the word limit. Second, when should we brainstorm in the introduction? So there are 2 approaches. First you think about introduction, then you think about body, then conclusion. This is usually what we do. But what is the problem with this? I have seen so many people who get stuck in the introduction only. The ideas are not coming, you go blank, you are trying to write perfect introduction, so you are not getting the data, facts, example, and in the process 1-2 minutes get wasted just in thinking process. And this is a very big amount of time. 1 or 2 minutes is long time. Right? I am giving you an alternative. Alternative is, first think about the body, then think about the introduction. Alright, I will say, first write the body itself. Body को लिख लीजिए. Then think about the introduction, because the moment you complete writing the body, you will have a lot of ideas which you can use in the introduction. It is like our mind is our mind has 2 kind of memory. One is primary memory, second is secondary memory. जैसे कंप्यूटर में होता है. Primary memory is which is we can recall immediately. Secondary memory is which we have to think and it will take time to recall, right? So introduction ideas, they will come from the secondary memory till the time we write the body, because body तो lengthy है, तो वहाँ पर even if you write 1 or 2 sentences with less important, it is okay. But introduction में it should be good statement, good idea, good data, good example, good choice of word. तो इंट्रोडक्शन अच्छा लिखने का एक ही तरीका है कि पहले बॉडी लिख लीजिए, उसके बाद इंट्रोडक्शन लिखिए. यू कैन लीव सम स्पेस ऑफ 2-3 लाइन इन द स्टार्टिंग, और इवन इफ यू डोंट राइट द बॉडी, एटलीस्ट थिंक अबाउट द बॉडी फर्स्ट. पहले सोच लीजिए, ब्रेनस्टॉर्म कर लीजिए. आफ्टर थिंकिंग दैट, देन यू थिंक अबाउट द इंट्रोडक्शन. राइट द इंट्रोडक्शन फर्स्ट, then write the body, then write the conclusion. So you have to change the order of thinking, right? This is the approach that you can follow. Then coming to the orientation, what should be the orientation of introduction? So orientation, when I say, what is the meaning of orientation here? In any concept, you have 3 levels of understanding. The first level of understanding is what. The second level of understanding is how. And third level of understanding is why. Why is the deepest level of understanding. Okay. So for example, Should we, like there is a question, should we change the parliamentary system of government to presidential system of government? Now, in this case, three kind of introduction are possible. Some people will write what is the meaning of parliamentary system, which countries are following parliamentary system, which countries are following presidential system. This is very basic. Second, some people will be writing how the parliamentary system works. Like there is a council of ministers who are collectively responsible, and some people will write, in this category only, how the presidential system works. Right? This is second type of introduction. The third type of introduction will be why we opted for parliamentary form of government in India. Let us start from this debate only. So why we adopted? Familiarity, number one. Second, accountability. This system is more accountable and more people can be accommodated, diversified electorate can be represented as compared to the presidential, because in the presidential system, presidents will choose even if the person is not a MP or something, not elected representative. So now tell me, out of three kind of introduction, which is showing much more in-depth knowledge? Why? Right? ये आपका knowledge base show करेगा. Some people, those people who are writing, like all the introduction are good, fine, but best one will be, in my knowledge, it will be why? Because it shows, beyond visible, you can see, you have the in-depth understanding of the concept. In the body part, you write about the problems of the parliamentary, the benefits of the parliamentary, problems of the presidential and benefits of the presidential, and in the conclusion you give the opinion that in India which one we should follow. So the answer is orientation should be as much as possible thinking, think about why. Okay, always think about why first. If you can't write why, then go for what or how. अगर ये नहीं पता है, why नहीं पता है, तब आप जाइए what और how पे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर क्रिप्टो करेंसी क्वेश्चन है, क्रिप्टो करेंसी में क्रिप्टो करेंसी का मीनिंग लिखने से पहले आप चाहिए क्रिप्टो करेंसी क्यों आई, व्हाट वाज द नीड ऑफ क्रिप्टो करेंसी, व्हाई सम पीपल ब्रॉट दिस. ओके, लेंथ आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड, 10% होना चाहिए. SRS I am making in front of you. Now, different ideas to think about introduction. So, introduction we can have 9 type of introduction. The first category of introduction will be facts or database introduction. See, you already know, many of you already know that this kind of introduction we can write, but I want to tell you some specific point about this. Number 1, as much as possible write the comparative data. Or trends. For example, if you are writing the answer of agriculture sector, so you will compare what was the contribution of agriculture in 1947, 1991 and 2022. Right? Or you compare what is the contribution of agriculture in India versus similar place country like Brazil or any such country. So the comparison gives you decision making ability. If you write the isolated fact that our country is contributing, in our country agriculture is contributing this much, you cannot take the decision whether this is right or wrong. I mean, this is adequate, inadequate. But if you compare that in 1947 contribution was high and the number of people was number of people who were dependent were very high. Okay, 2022 contribution is very less, but the number of people dependent are very high. That means there is joblessness in the agriculture. It is actually creating the unemployment, right? Poverty. Okay. So comparison is very important. Number 2, write the name of the source. If you know the exact one, it is good. If you have the exact source name, it is good. For example, economic survey, or as per some report, UNDP report, or maybe some other body, okay? But if you don't know the exact source, but you have an idea that which type of body has given, maybe you have an idea that some international NGO has given, so you can say as per one of the international NGO, or as per one of the global financial institution, or as per one of the government think tank. Suppose you are not sure which government body has given, as per one of the ministry, this thing you can use. सब में
मतलब गवर्नमेंट बॉडी जहाँ
हाँ.
पर नीति आयोग gives almost every time the report.
But still, unless you are sure, you should not. Because if you do that, professors are not illiterate people. I am telling you. उनको आता है पकड़ना. And if you don't know the source, don't write wrong source. ये मैं last point आपको बताने वाला था. If you don't know, don't write at all. कभी नहीं लिखना उसको. Right?
So like second year से इतनी बड़ी है. Do all people know all the reports in the second year से?
Are you questioning the
Because it is sad.
examiners? कभी गलती मत करना. यूपीएससी में कभी ऐसी गलती मत करना, है ना. नेवर थिंक कि हम एक जनरल रिपोर्ट का नाम लिख देंगे. नो, नहीं. दे आर वेल लेड पीपल, दे कैन क्रॉस वेरीफाई एनी टाइम. और आपने अगर एक भी गलत फैक्ट लिख दिया, बैड इंप्रेशन होगा, फिर वो हर जगह डाउट करेंगे. आपके मार्क्स तो डाउन होंगे ही होंगे, पक्का डाउन होंगे. अगर आप नहीं लिखेंगे तो आपके डाउन नहीं होंगे. इतना मेजर फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा अगर आप डेटा आप सही लिख रहे हैं, डायरेक्शन सही है आपकी. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. सो दिस क्वेश्चन इज, प्लीज रीड दिस क्वेश्चन वंस. So in this question, the question is about accountability of the executive to the parliament. So there are various mechanisms. For example, question hour, और क्या है? Multiple type of hours होते हैं. Then budgets, then motions. Then we have, हाँ, right? Or even the number of sittings are there. How many sittings are there? So we can compare that in which parliament how many questions hour sessions were there. Like I can give you some data here. So look into the second one. Okay, there are 3 facts. I would not suggest that you have to remember 3 facts, but the second fact is good one. Referring the bill to the parliamentary committee, right? So in this case, which one is the best committee? Best parliament, parliament 14th. How much? Sorry, not 15th. It is 15th actually, 71%. And which one is the worst? 17th. So how will you write this? Parliamentary accountability is declining as visible by decline in number of bills referred to the parliamentary committee from 71% in 15th Lok Sabha to 11% in 17th Lok Sabha, like this. Simple. Okay, only one fact. Okay, many of you can have a question, sir, how can we remember so many facts? There are at least 1,000 topics. Is it possible to remember all the facts? No, not even required. I will give you a simple idea. Just remember 2 facts about every topic. Just 2 facts, not more than 2 facts. It is possible if you just focus upon 2 facts. In fact, if you focus upon 2 facts, you will remember more than 2 also. So never run behind remembering so much data. In many content you will find 5 data, 10 data, 11 data. Coaching institutes, like we also do that. अपने material में तो हम लोग पूरा देते हैं data. In single topic we will give 10 data also, 20 data also, depending upon the topic. But you as a human being, you can't remember every data. From every dimension, maximum 1 data, and from overall topic, 2 to 3 data maximum, sufficient. Okay? So you have to put a limit on your reading. Some facts which you should remember is UN facts, and UN facts you can get from Sustainable Development Goals website. They have given some important facts about every area, poverty, hunger and everything, right? And in the facts, what you can do, one more thing, that you can add pre-COVID and post-COVID facts. Okay, so this will also be good, and this kind of data is available nowadays in the newspaper. Next is context-based introduction. I already told you, in this case, you will convert this statement into the introduction. The third is definition-based introduction. Is this type of introduction you can write in the technical topics, for example, science and tech, even in the social justice, the topic which are controversial topic. For example, secularism. And the best source of definitions is NCERT. NCERT glossary. Especially it is available at the end of the 11th, 12th NCERT. Last 4 or 5 pages. Very good source of definition. Simple, right? And very clear. Try to write exact definition, or if you don't write the exact definition, write the keywords. Because remembering exact definition is not always possible. If possible, mention the source of the definition. Like this is the definition from any policy given by RBI or any other body. Many questions, they are asking about the definition itself. So in these questions, in the introduction only, you should write the definition. Right? For example, this. So in this question you have what is cryptocurrency. So this should be given in the introduction only, and you write the definition. So आपका introduction में definition आ गया, right? इसको body में लेके जाने की जरूरत नहीं है आपको, right? Similarly, in this case, you can write the introduction, definition. Then we have current affairs based introduction. In the current affairs can be some data, some event, some Supreme Court judgment, और क्या हो सकता है बताइए? Some summit, some new government policy. So if you have any of these things, you can also write that as a introduction. You can use in the introduction as a reference, right? For example, this question of 2021, here they are specifically asking this data, mention the global occurrence of volcanic eruptions in 2021. So directly they are asking the data, right? Here you can give the introduction itself, right?
So can we go to the previous page?
Which one?
Current affair based. Yes, this. Sir, what was there in contextual based introduction? Can you please repeat? Context based. Second one. Can you please repeat that?
Contextual statement, whenever the question has two statements, one is contextual statement, second is question statement. So you can convert the first statement into the introduction. That is the context based. Next category is constitutional fundamental based introduction. This will happen in GS paper 2. Again, this is focusing upon why, right? Like this question, to what extent in your view the parliament is able to ensure the accountability of the executive? So here we will write why accountability is required. Because in the constitution we have this mandate, right? And also we are a parliamentary based democracy. So here there is a concept of collective accountability, collective responsibility and the control over the budget, right? So paper 2, you think about constitution, some idea from the constitution. Next is historical evolution based introduction. So especially in the concepts, for example, about women, local self-government, maybe e-governance, or you think about any topic, everything has some background like financial inclusion, or you maybe governor, कोई भी topic देखिए आप, paper 1 में suppose population, demography dividend, you can always think about history. History we can think in two dimensions. One is ancient, medieval, modern, post-independence. This is one way of looking. So you can think about the concept like woman in this perspective. The second way of looking is, for example, e-governance. We cannot trace back to the ancient history, okay? But somehow we can governance through the IT era, maybe post 1991. So depending upon the topic, it can start from post 1991, right? And in some cases, for example, if we talk about financial inclusion, we can think in terms of 1947 to 1991, 1991 to 2014, and 2014 to now. So this historical evolution we can divide into multiple categories based upon the topic, right?
So like women participation in Sabha Samiti and now in parliamentary.
Very good, very good. This question is about reforms in the civil services. So in this question, this question is about economic performance, right? We can go back to the history of this, like,
Evolution of civil service.
yes, evolution, and what was the mandate of civil service in the time of Britishers?
Revenue collector.
Yes, in the time of Britishers, what was their mandate? After independence, what is their mandate? And what is the recent, some recent cases where they are the economic performance is not happening good. Like they are heading the PSUs, Air India, so many companies are failing. On the other hand, they also indulge in the corruption. See many cases in because काफी बहुत छत्तीसगढ़ में हुआ था अभी, right? Coal mining cases, है ना? अभी रिसेंटली भी हुआ है ना, अभी रानू साहू छत्तीसगढ़, अभी न्यूज़ में नहीं था, वो काफ़ी न्यूज़ में था, वो भी था जो आप बता रहे हैं, पूजा सिंघल भी. Similarly, in this case, representation of women, right? So maybe you can trace back the history to the post-independence, like first woman judge 1989, right? And currently only 80 out of so many judges. Parliament, you can divide into 4 categories: 1947 to 67, 67 to 1990, 1991 to 2014, and 49 now. And there are so many concepts which are associated with the parliament. This is very important topic in the GS2, right? The topic, for example, opposition, for example, prime minister, for example, politics, electoral reforms, criminalization of politics, then federalism, coalition, minority government, leader of opposition. So many topics are there in which you can trace back the history. Suppose there is a question on federalism. So in the first phase, federalism was almost absent because the same party government was there in the state and center. In the second phase, there was confrontational federalism. Third phase also confrontational federalism. And now we are talking about the cooperative and competitive federalism. So you can write a bit about the history in the introduction, right? Similarly, local self-government, I told you, either you can think in terms of Sabha Samiti, Vedic time, then Gupta time, then Britishers time, and then post-independence, what happened. Or you can think in terms of what happened after independence, 1952, CDP, 57, 77, 85, 86, 1992, 73rd and 74th Amendment Act. So any of these two you can find as per the data that you have. Next is need or significance based introduction. So especially in the new concept, for example, micro irrigation, renewable energy, right? You can mention this kind of introduction, like micro irrigation, how it will help. So you will either write what is the problem of existing technology, like micro irrigation के केस में what is the problem of the flood irrigation, number 1, number 2, number 3, right? Or you write the significance of micro irrigation, because in this case they're asking the significance in the body part itself, so better you write the problem of the flood irrigation in the introduction part. You create the need, why this is required, what are the problem in the existing technology, you write that in the introduction part, and in the body part you write how it will help removing those problems, right? Next, similarly this you can use in the solar energy question of Mains 2020. Next is quotation based introduction. So quotation based, normally we think that we can write in the ethics, but I will say in the ethics also, and in addition to this you can write this in social issues like education. You can write in polity also. There are so many statements given by Ambedkar. You can write in ethics, ऐसे में तो आप लिखते ही हैं. Even science and tech you can write. So many statements are given by scientists, administrators, prime ministers, right? But most important thing is that you have to write the quotation, give the relevant quotation, and you have to establish the link. You have to interlink also. It should not be that you are writing the quotation and then you are writing the next part of the answer. You have to interlink. Okay. The last one is irony based introduction. Irony, what is the meaning of irony? Huh? Vidambana, yeah. Some kind of paradox. For example, if you're writing the answer of woman empowerment, so what we write, on the one hand we are worshipping them like a goddess, and on the other hand there is exploitation at home, workplaces, public places, right? So this is paradox. You can start like this. Similarly, suppose we're talking about science and technology, some initiative is there. So we can write on the one hand we are reaching to the space, on the other hand we are not able to provide the single mobile connection to the remote section, like that. So this kind of introduction you can write. So total 9 ideas I have given. How many questions you get in the paper? 20 questions. I will say in 20 questions use at least one idea, minimum in one question. So you will have total 9 ideas reflected in your answers, and your answer will be very, very diversified. Okay, so this is how you think about the introduction. Any questions so far in the introduction part? I mean, everywhere we can use. In fact, internal security, it is that it should be relevant and you should have that quotation with you. Like internal security, there are so many quotations on the terrorism. Science and technology, so many quotations on artificial intelligence, already there by Elon Musk, by so many people. It is just that you should have those quotations with you. Then only you will identify that yes, these can be used. Okay. Any questions so far? Anyone? So now I will hand over to my colleague and he will discuss about history. Okay, because history is very important in paper 1, and after that, I mean, he will have a discussion of around 30-40 minutes. So अभी क्या time हुआ है? It is 12:35. So from 12:35 to approximately 1:05 or no, 10, maybe 1:10, his session will be there. Then we will have a break till 1:30. Lunch break will be there. Break चाहिए आपको? And from 1:30 to 3, we will have the discussion on body dimensions, directive words, value addition, conclusion, right? So this discussion we will do in the last 1.5 hours. Okay? Are you with me, everyone? Online people, are you with me? Okay, very good, very good.
Three important segments in history. Do you know? What is the first one? Ancient. Second one? Medieval will come. Third one? Modern. So in these three segments, we see the questions. And when it comes to mains, we have another segment, that is post-independence and also world history. But nowadays, sometime question may come in world history, sometimes is not coming. So now let us see what are the types of questions that are coming from ancient, medieval and modern. Do you have some idea about up to what time we consider as ancient India? Up to what time period we deal with medieval and what time we start with modern? Any idea?
10th century.
10th century. Okay.
And medieval 11th to 17th century.
Okay. Online students, you can also type. So ancient, medieval, modern. Now as you said, can you give, do you have any idea what are the major incidents that happened during transition period from medieval to ancient to medieval?
Chola Empire was disintegrating.
Okay, Chola Empire. Can you give the location? You can imagine the India map and in which part of India Cholas were ruling? In the Deccan or in the south, the deep south. So for that, now my next question is, are you comfortable in drawing the India map? Do you have an idea about the India map? Okay. Online students, are you comfortable in drawing India map? Or anyone facing difficulty? Okay, good. Then if you are comfortable in drawing India map, that will help you in giving some ideas about answers also. For example, I will show you how. India map. Now you think in ancient times, what is the beginning era which we start in ancient time period? Harappan civilization, have you heard? And before Harappan civilization, was there any development in the Indian subcontinent? Now you need to imagine when it comes to history or even to be frank, any subject, this India map will help you a lot. Now you imagine before Harappan, our next question is, in which part of India Harappan civilization flourished? Any idea? West means here or here? In northwestern part, you can say? This side? And time period, any idea? 2500 BC up to 1750 BC. Now this was the time period when so many cities were flourishing here. Now even much before this period, was there any development in India? Vedic society, was it before Harappan or after Harappan? No. It is after Harappan period. Now this is Indus Valley civilization. The Vedic period comes after 1500 BC. So that means after 1750, 1500 BC Vedic period starts, and it continues up to 600 BC. Now, the main area of their settlement is northwestern and Gangetic Valley. Now, if you have some idea about this, then you can trace the cultural evolution from Indus Valley to Vedic civilization. UPSC is asking about the capacity or the capability of the student, how you can interlink between ages. Around 600 BC, there was some development in India. Any idea? Around 600 BC in ancient history, what happened? Online students, can you guess? Mauryans comes later. Around this time, Mahajanapadas or the emergence of kingdoms. During this time period, we do not exactly know whether kingdoms are there or not in this part. When it comes to Vedic period, there were kingdoms but on small scale. And if we see Mahabharata story and Ramayana story, that happened
Mahajanapada was not in later Vedic.
after Vedic time period. So around 600 BC. So this is the same geographic location Mahajanapadas emerged. And even downside also, and up to this point we see Mahajanapadas. Now this is around 600 BC. Around the same time period, we see the rise of new religious movements also, Buddhism and Jainism. So next comes Buddhism and Jainism. Do you have any idea from which geographic location Buddhism, Jainism emerged? Magadha kingdom or in this location? So Lumbini, Rajgir, Bodh Gaya, Saranath. So this is the location. Now you see, when it comes to art and culture, questions are being asked in art and culture also. Unless you have idea about these, you cannot really correlate what happened in during different time periods. Now this year one question was asked. I will show you this. Can you read the first question? Can you read?
Yes.
Read loudly.
How will you explain the medieval Indian capitalist cultures representing social life of those days?
So they are asking about which time period? Medieval. And also social life. Now when it comes to social life, what are the different dimensions of the society? Also you should know. In each and every period, we see some social developments, and also we see some economic development, and also we see political development, and also some kings, they used to patronize art and culture also. And for some time, technological development also happened. Now this is the structure which you will get here also, there also. Now when it comes to suppose here in Delhi Sultanate period and in Mughals, we will study same type of dimensions. What is the social development, what is the economic development, what is the political development, art and culture and technological progress. Whenever these segments are very flourishing, empires were flourishing. For example, during Mauryan time period and Gupta time period, and Mughals time period, these dimensions are very strong. Now when it comes to this time period, British rule. Now by this time period, there was a degeneration in the social life. That's why we see socio-religious reform movements. Socio-religious reform movements. Before the nationalism emerged, we Indians wanted to reform Indian society first. To understand socio-religious reforms, we should know what happened before modern India. Unless we have idea in this, then we cannot easily understand what happened in that time period. Now after this, nationalism. Then you see, if these dimensions, if you are comfortable, then you can generate points to these kinds of questions. For example, whatever may be the book you study, the questions directly you cannot answer from the given book. NCERT and other textbooks will give you complete idea about the medieval, ancient, medieval and modern. But exactly the answer to these kind of questions you will not get. These are the kind of questions nowadays UPSC is asking. This to make the student to think on the spot. Now you see, first, when it comes to the question, first you divide the question. How will you explain the medieval Indian temple sculptures represent the social life of those days? If you divide the question, medieval, then temple, sculptures, then social life. Generally in social life, what are the dimensions can you expect? Society. Now present day society is there. In society, what type of elements you will identify? Online students?
With respect to temples.
Forget about these two. But generally in society, in Indian society at this point of time, if someone asks you, can you describe the Indian society? Then how will you define India's society?
Divisions on the basis of religion and caste.
Religion. Okay. Caste.
Economic status.
Economic status. So divisions in the society are differences. So better word is class. Then any other? Now you think male dominated. So patriarchy. Now you think, now you take the help of India map. Now you think in this type of, in this geography, what type of society you will find here, here, here. Do you get some ideas by imagining India map and different regions? Plains, plain area, okay. So what exactly, that is geographical, you are saying. So what type of geography, okay. Then any other? Do you have idea about our society?
In northeastern India, the dominance of patriarchy is very comparatively less.
So matriarchal or less patriarchal in, so in what type of societies we see less dominance of male?
Northeast.
Northeast means comparing with alluvial plains. In northeast what type of geography? Hilly. Then in what type of society we find in hilly areas? Tribal. Then
Forest dwellers.
any other? So now you are seeing if I ask you the question, you are not able to get the dimensions. Now to generate the dimensions also, you should have certain idea how to generate dimensions within society also. For example, if I ask you the same question in a different way, suppose think about when it comes to society, start with the basic level. Generally, family. In Indian society, now compare Indian society with Western societies. Do you see any difference between Western families and Indian families? What you will find? Joint families you will find. Very good. So the patriarchy also comes within this family.
More dependence on parents.
So parenting, that means mother-father relationship. So that means family values. So in Indian society, we give so much value to the family. Family values are inculcated to the children. Then within family, who you'll see? Male, female, children, elders. Age-wise, if you think children, youth, elders you will find. Male, female you will find. Then once you come out of the family, then you think about the neighbors and also the village level or town level. What type of society? Exactly. So marriage. Marriage is one type of element within Indian society. Now this is how, if you think, then also if you start thinking on these dimensions with the India map, you will get some ideas. Now come back to the question. Now these are the social elements. Now you need to give, the question is saying that, do we have any evidence of temple sculptures which is giving this type of evidence? And also the time period they are saying about medieval. What is the timeline of the medieval? You can say generally from 750 onwards we used to say, that is from 8th century up to 12th century we call early medieval time period, and after 12th century we call medieval time period, like up to 1750. Now this is the time period of medieval. Now during this time period, can you see, was there any development of temple structures? Temples means Hindu based kingdoms should be there. From 750 onwards, which rulers were patronizing temples? Vijayanagara, very good. Cholas in the south side, Vijayanagara in the middle. Then Palas in Bengal region. Gujarat region, was there any? Parmaraj, Chalukyas, Solankis, they were there. In Kashmir, do you see any temples? In Orissa side, do you see any temples? Puri Jagannath temple. So those are the different type of temples. Now you are getting in different regions. Puri, Konark Sun Temple. Then when it comes to Vijayanagara, Hampi. When it comes to Cholas, which temple is famous here? Brihadishwara. Then Modera Sun Temple. Here there are some Jain temples also in Rajasthan area. Mount Abu Jain temples. Then here also you will find some temples, Sun temple also you will find. Yes, Marthan. Then here also you will find some temples. Here you will find Kamakya temple. Assam, Kamakya. And here in between in Madhya Pradesh, around 11th and 12th centuries, Khajuraho temples. Now you see, in any textbook you will not get this directly, but you will get this information in bits and pieces in different chapters. You will get Khajuraho temples in different chapter, and Puri Konark temples you will see in a different textbook, in art and culture textbook. And sometimes in NCERT also, in 6th you will find some information, in 7th standard you will find some information. But now when it comes to the question, you need to mix entire your knowledge into one place, so that now you can generate the points from this. Suppose for example society. Society you are going to read for paper 1 society. Use that knowledge to superimpose on this. So now you are getting the dimensions related to society. You are getting dimensions related to temples, medieval related temples. Now the question is how these temple sculptures are representing the society. How will you explain the medieval Indian temple sculptures? Now you know different type of temples. Social life also now different dimensions, family, caste, varna, religion, social life of those days. Now can you generate some points based on this? Which temple gives which type of society related information? For example, if you see Khajuraho temples, what type of social message you will find from there?
The society was comparatively much more open-minded.
Very good. So open-minded. And can you give some synonyms for the same open-minded? Can you use the term like liberal? Liberal society? What is the difference between conservative society and a liberal society?
Conservative fundamentalist, orientation fundamentalist.
Yes. So what does it mean?
Quite assertive or like
Assertive towards which segment of society?
orthodox values, traditional values.
Yes. So you will find some male dominance, more restrictions on women also, and more following of the varna system and caste system very rigidly. Marriage is also not outside the caste or outside the religion. So that is what conservative, very rigid. But when we see the images of Khajuraho, we may find society might be very liberal towards the family life. So you can see the family, marriage, and also materialistic life. Materialistic life. So probably during early medieval time period, based on the Khajuraho temples, we can identify these type of social elements might be prevalent in that. And also when it comes to family, suppose you will find many sculptures on the temples, like you will find chief deity, that means chief god of the temple, and also you will find wife of the chief deity also. So male god and female goddess. So that shows the family, Shiva Parvati, Vishnu, Lakshmi. So you will find most of the gods do have families. So that means It is like people are respecting more towards the family. That's why even gods are also now indirectly humans created the religion, humans created the gods. So that is Indian values or Indian social life is entering into the images of the temples. And also many gods and goddesses do have joint families also. For example, if you see Trimurti, there are Puranas which gives the explanation like the relationship between different families. So different joint family, and in some temples you will find images of Vishnu also, Shiva also. For some time there was a difference between Vaishnavism and Shaivism, they fought against each other. But in some time, in some temples we find images of both Shiva and, so that means there was a harmony or communal harmony in the society. Communal harmony in the society. Now these are the points you are going to study as part of GS1 society. When it comes to history, you may not think in these dimensions while you are reading 6th, 7th or up to 12th. You will study only different factual part, which temple is located in which places. But UPSC is trying to make students think on these lines. So multiple subjects now you should be able to integrate. So when it comes to answer, if you can give, there was a liberal society, then if you give example related to Khajuraho, then you will get good score. Then when it comes to Puri Jagannath temple, there you will find the images of 3 images of gods. Do you know who are the gods in Puri Jagannath temple? So what is the relationship among these 3? Brothers and sisters. So family life. And also the kind of images also, they are wooden made. So the integration of tribals into the Brahmanical religion also, that is tribal integration was also going on during medieval time period. And also if you see Kamakya temple, here the importance, in the beginning you said the male dominance is less in northeastern part of India. And this is one example where goddess temple is more popular than god temples. And today also in this part, Durga and Durga Puja is more popular in eastern part of India. So that shows the importance of women and Shakti. People are considering women as the incarnation of Shakti. So the real energy coming from women. So that is the social idea, but entered into the temple sculptures. So suddenly if you see the question, you may not be able to get, but you know all these after reading 6th to 12th and art and culture books, you will know all these elements. You know about society element also, but when it comes to answering, you should be able to mix both. So this is one idea how you can generate answers from the India map and also other dimensions in other subjects. Clear? Online students, clear? This is one type of question. Now second question, if you see, why did the armies of British East India Company, mostly comprising of Indian soldiers, win consistently against the more numerous and better equipped armies of British? Do you have any idea about the conquest of the British? Weak alliances between?
2 kings, neighbor kings.
Okay. Now what is the timeline when Britishers were conquering Indian princes? What is the time period?
1600, 17th century.
Battle of Plassey,
64,
1757. Battle of Plassey. Battle of Buxar is 1764. Any other battles can you give? Anglo-Maratha Wars, yes. Online students, you can also type there. Vandy Wash between which rulers? And before they were fighting, again, you just imagine, this will help you always. You may not get exactly. Now in this part, who are ruling?
Marathas.
So Anglo-Marathas, in this part,
Rajputs.
okay. Then in this part, Anglo-Carnatic Wars. Mysore also, Carnatic also, and here near Hyderabad regime,
Nawabs.
Nawab, so Nizam. Then here Bengal region, and here Mughal emperor was also there. And here there was one powerful ruler in this. Six. Ranjit Singh. Now we are talking about 1750 to suppose 1857. Between these two, from 1750 to 1857, almost they conquered entire Indian subcontinent. Now you just need to give why did, in simple terms, why Indian kingdoms were lost to the East India Company. Now when it comes to battle, why do you think Indian princes lost one after the other by the British?
Outdated weapons quality,
So weapons,
less training, lack of adequate training,
Less skilled.
leadership you were saying,
less training.
training, then so if there is a war between two countries, if one country loses, then what type of weakness you will identify? Can you imagine?
Structural weakness right from the leader
Economic.
to the less economical level.
So this is military reasons, you can say. If you think military reasons, you will find some weakness within Indian princes. Weapons you can think of, training you can think of, leadership you can think of,
Battlefields.
choosing the battlefields. And most of the times, many of the battles were fought not on the East India Company provinces, but in the Indian provincial sites. So if there is any economic loss, that went to Indian princes. This is military, you can say. Then when it comes to economy, can you think any economic reason why East India Company was winning against Indian princes? Economic angle.
Because these rulers did not focus on economic prudence, they were busy in their lavish lifestyle.
Yes.
No.
So wastage of the taxation.
And unfruitful wars.
Exactly. So debt you can say, and fiscal prudence you can say. So fiscal means the strength of economy was weak on the Indian sides and they were not utilizing properly, and they are utilizing for luxurious life of the princes. Then society, Can you think of society?
Fragmented society based on caste lines.
Yes. And one interesting fact is, here Indian side also the soldiers are Indians. East India Company side also soldiers were Indians only. So it is East India Company defeated Indians by Indians. So there was no sense of nationalism at that time. There was no unity, no nationalism. Then technological. They did not upgrade the weaponry, except if you see Tipu Sultan, he upgraded machinery. But he has some other problems. But when other rulers were said they are weak in technology, on the other hand, East India Company was using advanced technology. And it was also the time of industrial revolution in Great Britain. They were producing advanced technologies and they were bringing the latest technologies. So you can give one example in different places. And now come to the political. When it comes to political, what type of differences you will find between two?
They are quick decision making at company side. They are delayed decisions.
Yes.
Leads to loss of crucial time. Second factor was kings here were only more of a dictatorial nature. So they did not heed advice from their councils, ministers. While on the British side, even Robert Clive, who was a clerk, got promoted due to his skills and the knowledge of the ground.
So you can say that corruption or merit versus merit. And here if you see in Bengal, the army staff was purchased by Robert Clive. So Indian soldiers or Indian leaders were sold themselves to the opponent. And 1757 Battle of Plassey, one historian say it was not a battle, it was just a transaction. So Mir Jafar, without fighting, they surrendered to the East India Company. So you can see, even though numbers are big on the Indian side, but because of all these factors, Britishers were winning against. And on the other side, the diplomatic factors, divide and rule. Divide and rule, they used to create dissensions within the Indian princes and they used to attack the enemy. So in your answer, you can give one example for different ideas, then you will get the answer. So this one you will read separately in separate chapters, but you have to integrate all of them in one place. So are you getting how to use India map? And when you think about India map, even though you do not know answer immediately, but after seeing this you will get some ideas. So this is one. Why was there a sudden spurt in famines in colonial India since the mid 18th century? Mid 18th century means which time? 1750?
We can do this question as homework, whereas it is almost related to the previous two questions.
Yeah. So almost you can see economic angle, now administration of the British, if you see, then what are the impacts of British administration, same thing you will find. Okay. So you have to think on these lines when it comes to history. So if you have complete idea about ancient, medieval, modern, then you should be able to integrate with India map, then you will get some ideas. Okay. So shall I call sir?
Discuss about the body part. So in the body we have to write the points and we have to write the dimensions. So first of all, what is the difference between the points and the dimensions? So dimensions are like political, economic, social, environmental, and points are the content that we write inside each of these dimensions. So dimensions are basically the broad categories inside which we will write the points. For example, if we have to discuss about women empowerment. So what is the meaning of women empowerment, right? Or rather I should change, what are the problems in the women empowerment? Political problems, social problems, economic problems. So those are the dimensions. Political is a dimension, environment, economic is a dimension, social is a dimension. And now inside the polity we can write proxy representation with the husband, or number 2, not having the woman reservation in the parliament, legislature. So those are the points. Okay. So when you are writing about the body, you should first think about the dimensions, because nowadays the questions that we see in the examination, the questions are very open-ended, right? So what are the benefits of knowing the dimensions? What are the benefits of knowing the various kind of dimensions? The first benefit is that you can write thematic answers, because most of the problems, most of the students, the problem that they face is they are writing haphazard answer. The answer is not systematic. So if you write the answer through dimensions, your answer is much better in a structured manner. Your answer is structured, right? What is the other benefit?
Sir, what will be doing thematic?
Thematic means आपका जो आंसर होगा वो एक प्रॉपर ऑर्डर में दिखेगा. सपोज वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट के व्हाट आर द कॉजेज ऑफ लैक ऑफ वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट, अगर आप रैंडम से लिखते हैं, सब 1 पॉइंट आप इकोनॉमिक लिखते हैं, पॉलिटिक, सोशल, तो वो रैंडम ऑर्डर में दिखेगा. बट इफ यू आर राइटिंग इन द प्रॉपर डायमेंशन दैट ओके पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज, सोशल इश्यूज, सो यू विल कंबाइन द इश्यूज एट वन प्लेस. सो एक थीमेटिक वे में जाएगा वो, राइट? थीमेटिक आंसर होगा. सेकेंड पॉइंट, it will help you in the interlinkages, right? Third point, it will help you in understanding the current affairs in much better way, in classifying the current affairs topic in the content of the current affairs in much better way. Okay, I will tell you, I will give the example for each one of them. Okay, I will give you proper example for each one of these कि कैसे ये होने वाला है. Okay. So now I will discuss various kind of dimensions that we can use, okay, and this is very crucial. Here you will learn lot of things, so please be very attentive here. Please इसको अच्छे से आप इसको understand कीजिए. Okay, dimensions. हो जाता है अपने में तो. इंस्टॉल हो रहा है. So please note down some of the dimension. The first kind of dimension is the stakeholders approach. Please write stakeholders approach. So for example, if there is a topic of
So it has a dimension.
the first category of dimension is the stakeholders approach. So you will think about various stakeholders. For example, if it is a topic of COVID का topic है, right? So how to do the COVID management? So you will write what step should be taken by the government, by the citizens, by the media, by the corporates, by the NGOs, by the global community, global organizations. So you will write 2 points for each. 2 points for each. So you have a thematic answer. We are writing the answer as per a particular approach. You have something to think upon in a systematic order, right? The second aspect is levels approach. So you can think in terms of individual level, then local government level, then state level, then national level, and then global level. So for example, if there is a question on climate change, that what are the reasons of climate change, or what are the impacts on the climate change, impacts of the climate change, or what are the suggestions to overcome the climate change adverse impact. So we can say individuals should take this step, local government can take this step, state government can take this step. So we can go in a level approach, right? This is second way of writing the answer or thinking about the body. The third approach is GS syllabus approach. This is very good. In fact, I will ask you to please remember each and every word of the syllabus, right? If you remember the syllabus, it will help you. It will help you to interlink in a much better manner. आप answers को बहुत अच्छे से interlink कर सकते हैं आपस में, right? Suppose there is a question. What are the causes of poverty? So you can use the syllabus of GS1, like historical causes क्या हैं? In the historical causes, okay, Britishers time issues, post-independence issues. Then what are the geographical problems? Like difficult terrain in the northeast or in the other regions. Then societal reasons. For example, caste-based system, women not having the property ownership. GS paper 2, polity issues, governance issues, right? Polity, like the bodies are not working well, governance issues, corruption and data and all of those things. Then global issues, right? So impact of the global inflation, impact of the global crisis, right? Then social justice, the impact on senior citizen, impact on children, all of that. Then we will come to paper 3, economic reasons. The agriculture sector is not working well, and we shifted directly from the agriculture to the service sector, right? Then agriculture sector issues, marketing, storage, transportation, climate change. Then environmental issues, disaster management issues, internal security issues. So even if you write just one point from each one of these, you can write good answer. Even from GS paper 4, you can write some point like ethics. Ethics of NGO, ethics of corporate, ethics of media, ethics of bureaucrats, ethics of politicians, right? Judiciary. So in this fashion you can write a very, very comprehensive answer. So GS syllabus you can utilize as a last resort. If you don't have anything, then utilize the GS syllabus approach. This is also very, very good approach. Okay everyone, online, are you with me? The next category, please write pastel approach. Please write pastel approach. Please write pastel approach. In the pastel approach, the P stands for political. Political, right? So in the political, the first, please write the first subpoint, political willingness. Please write the first subpoint, political willingness, okay? Okay, do this in a good manner, okay? After this, we will try to do a smart approach, how to prepare for the mains, what will be the approach for the mains. After that, there are few things like value addition and diagram, which is having 1 hour each discussion. So what we will do, we will share a video with you people. हम आपके साथ में video share कर देंगे, diagram का और value addition का. Because I don't want to compromise on the quality. I want to discuss everything in a good manner. Okay, this is very important part, and I want to discuss it with the proper example. Okay, so body dimension में the first is political aspect. So in the political aspect, first is political willingness. For example, if you are writing the answer of poverty, so you will write the political reasons of poverty. So the first reason that you can write in the polity is lack of political willingness, right? Second, political ideologies. You can discuss about political ideologies, that there have been change in the political ideology from time to time, and different people treat the poor people in a different manner, right? Then political timeline. You can discuss about political timeline. For example, if you talk about poverty, so initially till Indira Gandhi, the focus was on just minimizing the poverty, and it was the Indira Gandhi who talked about removing the poverty for the first time, Garibi Hatao, right? And after that, in 2014, when Niti Aayog came, Niti Aayog also talked about elimination of poverty. Okay, elimination of poverty with the support of state, with the support of private sector, with the help of central government, and with the help of proper implementation, people participation, right? So political timeline we can utilize. After this, top down versus bottom up approach. Top down versus bottom up approach. Then global factors, international factors we can write. So what are the like global factors? May we can write about the world order. Like earlier it was bipolar, then unipolar, and now we are talking about multipolar world. Okay, so you can think from this perspective. After this, the second dimension comes is the environmental. Okay, so in the environmental, the first sub dimension is the global versus local. Suppose there is a question on pollution. Okay, pollution. So what are the reasons of pollution at the global level and at the local level? Right? Are you with me, everyone online? Are you understanding? जो मैं
What would be
आप
top down versus bottom up?
top down means top down implementation of or top down framing of policy versus bottom up framing of policy, right? So what is the need of the people? If we are not discussing with the people, then how will you identify? So are you able to correlate? अभी जो मैं आपको डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ आप समझ पा रहे हैं उसको, एग्जाम्पल्स को समझ पा रहे हैं एवरीवन ऑनलाइन? Okay, very good. Then we have rural versus urban in the environment only. The second category is the rural versus urban. The third category is the major environmental indicators. You can discuss about major environmental indicators. For example, air purity, water purity, noise pollution, greenhouse gas emission, forestation, right? So you can think about this. There was a question a couple of years ago about the significance of the mangroves, right? So significance of mangroves, it is quite possible that you are not able to remember all the point suddenly. Exam में एकदम सारे point याद नहीं आते. So how will you recall? How will you think? So you will go and check what is the impact mangroves can make on the environmental indicators, on each environmental indicator. It can purify the water, right? It can purify the soil also. It can increase the diversity of the flora and fauna, right? So in this manner, if you just remember the topic name, all the topics of the environment and link with the mangroves, identify those topics which are relevant, you can write the answer. At least 5-6 points you can easily write. So this is having a major application. In the mains 22 paper, I was analyzing in the last workshop, there are so many questions which are open-ended in paper 2, paper 1, paper 3, and the answer you will not find anywhere. You cannot find the answer in any single book. Only and only thinking will help in those questions. I will show those questions today also after I complete the discussion of this. So this is very important. This discussion is very important. If you understand this framework, you can apply this framework in many questions where the answer is not otherwise available, not otherwise possible, right? Next broad dimension comes is the social dimension, right? So in the social dimension, the first is basic necessities. Roti, kapda, makan, right? Bread and butter, water, right? Clothing, right? Then vulnerable sections. So suppose there is a question about what is the impact of say 1991 reforms, economic reforms. So you can think, is there any impact on the senior citizen? Is there an impact on the low caste people? Okay. Or there is a question on COVID. What is the adverse impact of COVID? Then you can think, what is the impact on women? Increase in domestic violence, right? Impact on senior citizen. they are not able to move out of the home, so that increases their problem. Then impact on the children, impact on their mental development, impact on their education, right? Then next one can be impact on the laborers, they have to move back to their home, reverse migration is started, right? So like this you can correlate so many things, right? So impact on the vulnerable section. Similarly, you can think about impact on the major social indicator, impact of COVID on the major social indicator, right? For example, what is a social indicator? Like education, learning levels. So learning levels went down because of the COVID. People were not participating, and even many students, they were not having the access to the internet, not access to the devices, right? Not access to the internet, electricity. So because of this, they were not able to learn. So learning outcomes came down. Similarly, health expenditure increased because of COVID. Everyone was sick. There was very high charge in the private hospitals, oxygen, medicines, hospitalization, so many things. So it increased the expenditure, health expenditure. Can you see? We are able to think from here only. What is another social indicator? The death rate increased. What is another social indicator? Women participation in the labor force, it decreased, right? So many things are there, right? So you can think in this fashion. After this, you can think in terms of the cultural aspect. Cultural aspect. Like, what are the cultural aspects? Food, dress, language. Giri Gholap, what do you want me to repeat? Okay, cultural aspect, right? We have discussed. Next is technology.
रिलीजन की सेवा कंसीडर करें.
हाँ, religion में जाएगा. Next is technology, right? So in the technology, the first aspect is supply versus demand. Supply versus demand.
सर इकोनॉमिक में नहीं आएगा.
क्या सप्लाई डिमांड? इकोनॉमी में भी आ सकता है अलग तरीके से, और टेक्नोलॉजी में like this demand is high, supply is less. Research and development versus mass penetration. That we are very good researcher in many agriculture techniques, but we are not able to penetrate it at a mass level because of the lack of awareness and so many things. Then commercial versus welfare. Are we utilizing the technology for commercial purpose or welfare purpose? Then basic versus advanced. Basic versus advanced. West versus east. North versus south. Then we have economic dimension. So you can write from here economy and legal dimension. From here you can write please write these two sides approach also. I will discuss after that. Done everyone? So let us discuss this quickly. Man-made versus natural. Where can we utilize this? कहाँ पे यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं इसको? फॉर एग्जाम्पल पोल्यूशन में, एयर पोल्यूशन इन दिल्ली, दिल्ली के अंदर जो पोल्यूशन होता है, सम रीजंस आर मैन मेड ऑल्सो, सम आर नेचुरल ऑल्सो, राइट? स्ट्रक्चरल वर्सेस ऑपरेशनल, वी कैन यूज दिस इन द body working of the bodies like नेशनल कमीशन ऑफ वुमेन, NHRC जो हमने आज डिस्कस किया था उसकी वर्किंग में स्ट्रक्चरल प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हैं, ऑपरेशनल प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हैं. सिमिलर थिंग वी कैन डू इन द इंस्टीट्यूशनल वर्सेस फंक्शनल. सेम थिंग वी कैन डू इन द डिमांड वर्सेस सप्लाई. डिमांड वर्सेस सप्लाई, वेयर कैन वी यूज दिस? लाइक डिमांड ऑफ द RTI and supply of RTI. RTI are not responded properly. Modern versus traditional. Example: education, health, values, technology, right? Public versus private. Health, value, education, right? Transport, energy, companies, right? Role in the poverty alleviation. So many things are there, right? So two sides approach you can apply. Levels approach we have discussed, syllabus approach we have discussed. After this we have 4W approach. 4W approach we will discuss why, what, who, where. And last comes the cycles approach or stages approach. Please write this also. Cycles or stages approach.
सर लीगल डायमेंशन में क्या था?
लीगल में लेजिस्लेशन. अच्छा, आपको डिस्कस नहीं किया क्या? अभी मैं शो कर दूंगा. हाँ, अभी मैं शो कर दूंगा.
सर 4W अप्रोच इंट्रोडक्शन के लिए रहेगी या बॉडी?
बॉडी में आप कहीं भी यूज कर सकते हैं. These approach you can use in the body, you can use in one part of body, you can use in full body, इसको कैसे भी करके आप मल्टीपल वे में यूज कर सकते हैं। साइकिल्स अप्रोच आपने हो गया, राइट कर लिया आपने, कीजिए फटाफट से। देखिए, प्री, ड्यूरिंग, पोस्ट यू कैन यूज इन द डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट। वर्चुअस साइकिल वर्सेस विशियस साइकिल you can use in private investment, you can use in poverty, unemployment, right? Life cycle approach, this approach you can use in, for example, you are writing about woman health, so health of the woman, health of the children, health of the teenage, health of the adult, health of the old age. Then policy approach. Suppose you are evaluating some policy, like you are evaluating the RTI, you are evaluating like so many questions are there every year, right? That why poverty alleviation schemes are not successful, why health sector is not doing good despite so many schemes. So whenever we have these type of question, we can analyze the policy formulation issues, policy implementation issues, and policy monitoring issues. What is the problem in the policy making? What is the problem in the policy implementation? And what is the problem in the policy monitoring? Right? So this thing we can do. After this, write the timeline approach. Please write the timeline approach. There was something emergency. So, timeline approach. How to use the timeline approach? Short term versus medium term versus long term, right? For example, if you are writing the suggestion for anything, any topic, so you can write short term suggestion, medium term suggestion, and long term suggestion. Right? 5-year plan, you can utilize the 5-year plan approach. Suppose you are writing the government initiative for unemployment, so you can think from, okay, what was the initiative in the first 5-year plan, second 5-year plan, third, fourth, like this. Then political timeline in India, 1947 to 67, 67 to 91, 91 to 2014, and 2014 to now. 4 political timeline we majorly use. And then past, present, future approach, right? So these are the various approaches in the timeline approach. In the pastel approach, L approach is this one: legislative, constitutional, policies, and administrative. In the administrative also, we can further write more points: data, powers of the bodies, institutions, right? So these are the body dimensions, right? Now let us see some questions where we can utilize these body dimensions. So these are the mains 22 papers. Let us open some paper and let us check how can we utilize this. Can we extend this workshop till 3:15? 3:15 tak. We will planning till 3, but we will do till 3:15. Okay. So this is the paper 1. So in the paper 1, let us check some question where we can use this. Basically, these dimensions you can use in those questions which are open-ended, right? The questions which are very, very specific. For example, troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather process how. This is a very specific question. Here you can't use this dimension. ऐसी जगह पे आप ये dimension को use नहीं कर सकते, right? Now, this is question number 20. Please read the question number 20 and think which dimension we can use. It is a test of your understanding, how well you are able to understand. Bhargavi Siri Ram, repeat the timeline. Okay, timeline I will repeat after some time. Mitu Saha, can you send all the PDF? Nitu, I hope you should be making the notes. Are you making the notes? Okay, I don't think you need that. If you need, you can request for the recording for the team. I will share the email ID with you people. You can request for the recording. Okay. So on this email ID, send a request and we will share with you the diagram video and we will share with you the value addition video, how to do the value addition, right? contact@diademy.com. So which dimension we can use in the question number 20? Can you please think? Yeah, technology में क्या क्या use कर सकते हैं? Elucidate the relationship between globalization and new technology in a world of scarce resources, with a special reference to India. Basically, if we have to use the scarce resources in a much better manner, how the globalization can help through new technology? Yeah? Cycle approach में कैसे, जैसे?
कुछ प्रोसेस में इम्प्लीमेंटेशन किसी को वाले सरकार की पॉलिसीज में.
Okay. Cycles approach. Okay. Which other approach we can use? Before 1991, after 1991. Okay, very good. Timeline approach, past versus present. Okay. What else we can use?
Supply and demand.
Demand, supply. We can increase the supply. Demand is already there. Then we can apply modern versus traditional approach. Then, like India can supply the traditional technologies, traditional practices from agriculture and from medicine, from other areas to the world. Not only India will be a consumer, but India can also be a supplier of the technology in a world of the scarce resources, right? And what else we can use? So basically, new technology. What is the meaning of new technology? Artificial intelligence, big data, Internet of Things, all of those things. In India also, India is also very, very successful in space. We can supply the space to the other countries, space technology. Question number 5 we can utilize. Discuss the role, right, of National Commission for Backward Classes. So here we can write stakeholders approach, how they are benefiting various stakeholders. We can also utilize the two sides approach, structural role, operational role, structural limitations, practical limitations, institutional functional. Yes. Then reforming the government delivery system through the DBT is a progressive step, but it has its limitations. Here we can apply the policy formulation, policy implementation, policy monitoring approach. That what is the problem in the DBT scheme? What is the problem in the implementation? What is the problem in the monitoring? See, जहाँ पे भी open-ended questions होंगे, you will not get the answer anywhere, but only these dimensions will help you, right? Okay, fine. Now we will discuss. There is one more question I want to show. I think that's in paper 3. Okay, anyways, now we will discuss conclusion, how to write conclusion. So in the conclusion, S stands for summarize, especially in the topics like history, geography. Then CORE. This is especially true in the context of GS paper 2. Controversy, resolve. So you will resolve the controversy, because in the paper number 2 the most of the questions are debatable. So you will give your final view in this, right? And then last one is F. This is applicable in GS paper 3. Here you will give futuristic, and here you will give the recommendations, you will give the suggestions, way forward, etc. Right? So this is the conclusion. You have to write the conclusion in this manner. So I have discussed almost everything. I have discussed introduction writing, body writing, structure making. I have discussed conclusion writing. Now what is left? The presentation tips, value addition, directive words and diagram. So we will share the videos for these. Okay? So you please send an email on this email ID, contact@diademy.com, and we will share the email, videos with you, right? And we have some paid programs for the general studies and optional, right? So I will be showing those paid programs. You can consider joining those programs, and we are committed to provide you the best quality, right? Siva Krishna, please repeat the conclusion, please. Conclusion I have written on this here. S stands for summarize. You should summarize. For example, in history, geography, you can utilize this. In GS paper 2, CORE, controversy resolve. So you should give the final view after resolving the controversy. And in GS paper 3, mostly the suggestion will be futuristic, F, which can be recommendation, suggestion, way forward, like this, right? Mitu Saha, can you explain the body structure? Okay, Mitu, I will come to that. Basically, body, I think I have already discussed with you. This is how we can write the body. Like this. I have given you the overall structure. So you will first think that how many words I have to write in each part. Subheading you will take from the question itself, right? And there are some presentation tips which you have to follow. So I will show you those tips. You can quickly write, फटाफट से लिख लीजिए. This is very important for the answer writing, that you do some spacing in your answers. अपने answers में कुछ spacing कीजिए. Okay, make the boxes for highlighting the important words, right? Let me show you how to do that. So spacing करेंगे, especially if your handwriting is not good. अगर आपकी handwriting अच्छी नहीं है तो आप spacing करेंगे. Boxing like this. You will put your subheading in the boxes. Especially the subheading part you should put in the boxes. Right? Then underlining, very important, but only maximum one word in a sentence. Don't underline the whole sentence. Right? Bolding. You can use some bolding technique to highlight some specific thing, like you can write like this.
Sir, is black and allowed?
Yeah, black and blue both are allowed.
So instead of bolding, can we use black and?
You have to change the pen, it will break the flow.
Yes.
So I suggest use only one pen. Handwriting, it matters, but it should be legible. No need of any flowery language, flowery handwriting. Writing in points, but in history or in some other topic which is not having the point, you can apply the paragraph also, right? And drawing the table for differentiation, it helps. For comparison, this helps. And diagrams, okay? Diagram, I will have a separate video. Flowcharts and maps, separate video is there. So these are the presentation tips, right? In the body part only, I have discussed many things so far, and let me show you few things in the body part. This is something that you can write. I have already discussed. You have to ensure that all the parts of the question are answered in the body. Every part should be separately visible in the body, right? That is very, very crucial, that every part is separately visible, right? Number 2, you should convert the keywords of the question into the subheadings of the answer. I have already explained this part. Third, write the answer in the broad dimensions, not in the points. And last, use at least one example or data in the 50% point in your answer to substantiate your answer. Okay? Now I am giving you some homework. Okay? Please complete that homework. आपको मैंने दिया हुआ है, आप देखिए question. Please write a question, online people. आपको तो मैंने दिया हुआ है इसमें, है ना? Please write a question, online people, and the answer to this question you can submit to us on the Telegram. Please write the question. Elaborate the scope and significance of the food processing industry in India. Please write a question. Elaborate the scope and significance of food processing sector in India. This is the question that came in Mains 2022. 10 marks, 150 words. Paper number 3. Elaborate the scope and significance of food processing industry in India. Please write the answer to this question using the dimensions, using the format that we have given to you, right? And submit on a Telegram ID. We are giving you Telegram ID. This is the Telegram ID. @team DIADEMY, okay? This is the homework for you, right? Now I want to tell you about the paid programs that we have, okay? Okay, before that, let me tell you, we have one more workshop. This workshop is happening next week, right? Not on 31st, not on 30 August, this is a wrong date. This is happening on 6th of November, prelims workshop, where we will be discussing how the questions are repeating in the prelims. How can you clear the prelims? So for prelims, we have the workshop next week on 6th of November, 11 to 3, same time, right? Next Sunday. You should also join our Telegram channels. We have various Telegram channels for optionals, right? We have the classes for anthropology, sociology, commerce and accountancy, pol science, geography, public administration, economics and psychology. So you can join the Telegram channels. We have the separate dedicated Telegram channels. You can join the DIADEMY IAS Telegram channel. All the links of this Telegram channel we will post there, right? In fact, the link of the prelims masterclass also we will post in the Telegram channel of the DIADEMY IAS. Then we have the short notes. Okay, we have the short notes of paper 2 and paper 3 and paper 4. These short notes are very, very good short notes. Our team will share the samples with you, and you can cover majority of your syllabus. The condition is that you should have gone through the syllabus once yourself in detail. तभी ये notes काम आएंगे आपके. तो ये बहुत अच्छे notes हैं हमारे GS to GS3 के short notes आपको important topics के, right? After this, if you want to attend the full program of the GS, we have the GS Mains Booster program, which is very successful program, right? So in this program, we are providing you issue-wise coverage of 1000+ issues, and we are providing you discussion of paper 1, 2, 3, 4 and essay. This is a complete program. Essay is taken by Mr. Aman Akash. He is a IFS officer. He is our student also from this last year's batch, and we will discuss everything. The classes will be taken by me and my team. There are 3-4 more faculties. All of them are very good faculty, and we are covering the static part and the current part. We are discussing the previous year question in the class, and we are providing the PYQ discussion in the class, and we are also helping you develop your answer writing skill, right? So we will share the samples of this. You can check on our Telegram channel, right? After this, we have the 3-level test series of the GS, right? In this test series, we are providing you daily, weekly and full length test. So this test series is available in Delhi, and this is available in online mode, and you can also write in the Kolkata. In the Kolkata also we have a center, right? Then if you talk about the mains programs, these are the mains programs. Mains Booster Plus, which contains GS 1, 4, 2, 3, 4 and essay. It is covering 1100+ topic. We will provide you the topic list also. This topic list is very important. This topic list you can get free of cost. This will help you, identifying which topic are to be covered, which topic are not to be covered. In this case, in this course, we are focusing upon the content generation and the answer orientation. The cost is 40,000 for the offline, 30,000 for the online, right? Then we have the 3-level answer writing program. In this program, we are focusing upon the answer writing and the test series. The cost is 20,000 and 20,000, right? So this Mains Booster Plus is a program which is providing everything end to end. It is not just focusing upon few topics, it is focusing upon every topic, right? If you join both the program, mains mein, if you join both the program, the cost is 45,000 and 35,000. These are the GS programs. Apart from this, we have the individual programs also. Suppose you are weak in some certain subject, like you are weak only in GS paper 3 or only 2 or only 4 or essay, then you can get particular subject also, right? Like GS3, GS2, GS4 and essay. Essay program is taken by Aman Akash, and his lessons are very good. If you are a beginner, you can join our GS Foundation course. This course is also very successful, available for 23 and 24. Okay, you can be in touch with our team, and our team will contact you. In fact, our team will also contact you for taking the feedback. Okay, you can give the feedback to our team. Okay, and then we have one initiative where you can write the answer and you can submit, and we will evaluate. We will not give model answer, but only and only evaluation will happen from our side. So this is available for GS and optional both. Okay. Then we have an answer writing booster kit. The admissions are closed for this one as of now. We are not providing this, so this you can ignore. Okay. Apart from this, we are also launching the prelims program, prelims Prakaram program for 23, where we are providing you current affairs and test series and everything. So how the prelims Prakaram program, this is a very dedicated program for especially those people who are struggling in the exam. Okay, so here we will providing you daily MCQs, 25 to 50 MCQs based on the schedule. You will get a schedule, and this schedule will have 3 phases. Phase 1, 100 days. Phase 2, 50 days. And phase 3, 30 days. Right? So in the phase 1, we will be focusing upon daily target and daily MCQ. These daily MCQ will be discussed on a weekly basis. There will be weekly discussions classes. Along with this, we will also provide you 2 classes every week for the current affairs. These classes will be happening on Saturday and Sunday. 3 hours each, right? And the subject matter expert will be teaching in these classes, right? You will also get short notes in this, right? In the phase 2, you will get revision classes also, and prelims tests, the full tests, subject wise tests, right? Similarly, in the phase 3, you will get mock tests, right? So this is the prelims Parakaram program. This program is focusing upon those people who want to cover the prelims in a systematic manner. Again, the details of this program we will share on the Telegram channel, right? You can check over there. Apart from this, like CSAT, we have a separate program. Then if you want to go for the foundation of prelims, like you want to attend the classes of all the courses, all the subject, then you can attend that also. Even 24th eligible, right? So we have initiatives in various optional, which include, I told you the optional subject. We are running the class, foundation courses and the mentorship courses, right? So these programs are available. You can check the details on a Telegram channel. We will share on the Telegram channel. And I would like to ask from you people, what did you learn from this workshop? This workshop was 4 hours long workshop, and you are here. I mean, I really appreciate those people who are here since morning 11 AM से और last 3 PM तक हैं. It is not an easy task, especially for the online people. It is very difficult to stay there on the laptop for 4 hours, and that too in a open workshop जहाँ पर आपने कोई पैसा भी ना दिया हो. फ्री वर्कशॉप में इतना कोई नहीं टिकता जब तक कि लर्निंग ना मिले, right? So I want to ask you, what is your learning? What did you learn from this workshop? Just I need only 1-2 point, not much. You can type quickly in the chat box. आप बताइए. What's your good name? केशव. हाँ केशव, yes. क्या exactly? आपने specifically क्या, like what did you really get?
Sir, mostly I was studying in answer writing. Ideas were not coming, but after brainstorming.
This program will really transform your answer writing. That is my promise. We will also provide you value addition in this program, right? So if you have already gone through the content, you just want to fresh up, you just want to improve your answer writing, get a discipline, then this program is for you. Okay, Abhi. Class is going in 2 minutes.
There will be no that maths class.
At 3:30.
3:30, yeah?
हाँ.
Okay.
Okay, everyone.